people are waiting to have children, and that's leading to fertility issues.
It's a silent struggle for many couples, especially as they get older.
10 News anchor Jenna Zipton continues her look at infertility and how new medical advances are helping older couples fulfill their family dreams.
Are you being such a good girl?
Babies bring so much joy, but trying for a baby can bring so much pain.
Oh, it destroys you. It's heartbreaking, and you still have to find a way to function in life.
Kristen and Aaron Price spent years trying to have a baby, and fertility issues led them to Dr. Chris Williams. The Reproductive Medicine and Surgery Center of Virginia is seeing a shift in patients with more older couples.
Everybody's waiting to get married and waiting to start their families. You're not old when you're 35, but we start talking in terms of advanced maternal age and some issues in terms of aging that may affect your ability to get pregnant and miscarriage risks, etc.
These were all the needles that I actually injected myself with.
After exhausting some less aggressive fertility treatments, Kristen went through IVF, or in vitro fertilization.
It's not for the weary of heart.
She had to give up her job because it didn't work with all the testing, medicine, and driving hundreds of miles back and forth to Charlottesville for treatment.
This is a way that I was able to keep myself organized.
After weeks of shots and waiting, she didn't get any embryos that could develop into a baby. They were all genetically abnormal, meaning most likely she would miscarry.
It's literally one of the hardest days of my life to date. Yeah, I was a puddle on the floor for hours to go through all of that and then to have nothing to show for it. It's hard.
Watching her go through that was extremely difficult.
They decided to do another round.
She was all in, so I was all in.
After more shots and tests, this time just one embryo made it through genetic testing, giving the couple their first daughter.
It's surreal just to know everything you've gone through to get her here.
Improvements in genetic screening make a big difference for older couples.
When we biopsy what's going to become the trophoblast.
Scott Purcell is the lab director who biopsies cells to find a normal embryo.
They used to only be able to test for a handful of chromosomes. Now we can test for all chromosomes. You get more information, it's more accurate information.
And that's leading to joy for couples like Kristen and Aaron.
I would do it 1,000 times over just to know her.
Dr. Williams says testing for abnormalities improves pregnancy rates and reduces miscarriage to just 5%. With the genetic research going on now, the idea is one day doctors will be able to correct any abnormalities, hopefully enabling even more couples to have children. Jenna Zipton, 10 News, working for you.